So Madhavi, which place did you like best? आपण गेलो होतो तिथे.
It's Road to Heaven.
Oh, Road to Heavens, of course.
Road to Heaven.
Clearly, the Road to Heaven is upstaging all the other sites in Kutch. Ever since it opened in 2024, it is being splashed across social media as one of the most beautiful roads in the world. This is a 30-kilometer long road that runs straight through the Rann of Kutch. Depending on the weather conditions, you could be driving through vast expanses of water or white salt. So we hired a car and went to check out this latest star on the horizon. The road lived up to its reputation. We seemed to be heading right to the end of the earth. The water on both sides is not very deep, and there are a lot of water birds here, especially flamingos. But they were too far away to be captured on camera. So we took some pictures for our Instagram feed instead. Incidentally, I've driven over 2 more roads like this in India, straight roads with water on both sides. This first one is the Maravante Beach Road in Udupi district of Karnataka. This is an aerial view of that same road. And the next one is Dhanushkodi in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. On the other side of the road is an island called Khadirbet. And on this island is the village of Dholavira. It is in this village that a 5,000-year-old ancient Harappan city was discovered in the early 1990s. And in 2021, this Harappan city got a UNESCO World Heritage Site status.
Before we begin our exploration of Dholavira city, let us take a moment to say thanks to Mr. Shambhudan Gadhvi. Mr. Gadhvi's name is not mentioned anywhere in official records, but the local people of Dholavira know that if it had not been for his persistence, today we would not be seeing this great Harappan city. Mr. Shambhudan Gadhvi was a municipal officer in the Gujarat government, and he was overseeing some drought relief work in Dholavira in the early 60s. In the course of his work, he started stumbling upon some shards of pottery, some broken seals, like some bits of carnelian beads, some metal strips, and he found there was something different about them. He went home and he checked in his son's 6th standard history textbook where there were images of Indus Valley seals, and he found a remarkable similarity with these. So what he did is he wrote to the curator of the Kutch Museum in Bhuj, and he corresponded with the ASI and told them to come here and see if what he had found was anything significant. Even after this, for 30 years, there was no movement. But in 1990, things picked up, and under the supervision of archaeologist Dr. R.S. Beast, excavation of the Dholavira site started. As layer and layer of earth was removed, a huge metropolis started coming to light. Dholavira was inhabited for 1500 years, and the people who lived here belonged to a very highly advanced civilization. They had knowledge of mathematics and trigonometry, of town planning, of road laying, of water conservation and water management. They had a very advanced drainage system and also a sewage system. So the discovery of Dholavira actually uncovered a very important chapter in India's history. Today, Mr. Gadhvi, who first stumbled across those Indus Valley civilization seals, he is in his 80s and he lives in Bhuj. And he is very happy to meet people and recount his experiences if you ever chance to go and visit him.
The ruins of Dholavira are nearly 5,000 years old. This is the 5th largest Harappan site to be discovered in the world, and it is also the 2nd largest in India. Dholavira was a fortified planned city and it spread over 100 hectares. It had 3 distinct living sections: the citadel for the ruling elite, the middle town for traders, and the lower town for the working classes. It is flanked by two seasonal rivers, the Manhar and the Mansar. These were crucial for life in Dholavira. Check dams were built over these rivers, and the monsoon waters were diverted into 16 massive reservoirs that lay all around the city. These reservoirs were interlinked and cleverly used the slope of the land for ensuring smooth flow of water from one reservoir to another. Underground channels linked the reservoirs to tanks and wells within the city. They also had a stormwater drainage system that collected rainwater and stored it in tanks. Not a drop was wasted. Indeed, the sophisticated water management system of Dholavira is unparalleled in the ancient world. It was instrumental in securing the World Heritage Tag for Dholavira. And it was this ingenious water management which made it possible for people to live and thrive in this arid land. Dholavira had this granary with several silos that were at least 4 meters deep. Grains of barley were found here. Bead making was a major occupation at that time, and this is the bead making workshop. Jasper, agate, lapis lazuli, and carnelian beads were shaped here. The cylindrical beads of Dholavira were prized all over the civilized world at that time. These cylindrical beads are a technological wonder, because imagine perforating this for threading purposes without modern machinery. This was a skill that the people of Dholavira had mastered. One of the most exciting finds at Dholavira was a 3-meter long signboard. It is known as the oldest signboard in the world. The wood has now rotted away, but these letters which were made out of gypsum, they remain. Since the script has not been deciphered, we do not know what they mean. This signboard is now in the National Museum in Delhi, but a replica can be seen on the on-site museum here, which incidentally is closed on Fridays. So we didn't get to see it. In the interest of brevity, I will not elaborate upon the other things that have been found here. A stadium with amphitheater-like seating, a 100-foot deep well, houses laid out in rectangular plan, along streets laid in a grid pattern. The skeleton of a 6-foot tall woman, people must have been tall here. There is evidence of maritime trade, but no evidence of any religious practice or of any royal class. From what has been discovered up to now, it seems to have been a metropolis that at its peak enjoyed at least 500 years of peace, advancement, and prosperity.
Dholavira had reached its peak between 2500 BCE and 2000 BCE. But after this, there are signs of urban decay. Like the maintenance is no longer there. The reservoirs had fallen into disrepair. The streets started getting a little crooked. What happened is that this area started becoming more and more arid, and the water sources started drying up. The sea also started retreating. So trade by these waterways became difficult. And there was also a 150-year long drought that affected this region, and this Dholavira was totally abandoned during this period. After that, it was resettled, but the resettlers had a completely different culture than the earlier period. This was a period of de-urbanization. They were simple folk living here in simple houses. Like the architecture of this period tends more towards circular bhungas, and the ultimate abandonment of Dholavira happened around 1500 BCE. All the structures started getting covered in layers of earth. All the houses got covered, the citadel got covered, until all we could see was mounds. And the city was forgotten. Its achievements, its culture, its science, its technology, everything was forgotten. And it was not remembered even in folklore. until that eventful day in the 60s when Mr. Shambhudan Gadhvi stumbled upon that Indus Valley seal. And the rest, as they say, is history.
We returned to the tent city the same way that we had come. But there was no road and no water, just salt as far as the eye could see. I'm kidding. This pre-road construction video was shared with me by a traveler who wishes to remain unnamed. Thank you, friend, for showing us how amazing it was even in 2021 before the road was built. This great run, it has seen oceans swell and oceans retreat, civilizations rise and fall, human achievement peak only to be lost again. This land has shaped history, and today, for a brief moment, we were a part of its eternal story.